Happy Sunday, wherever you are in the world. It has been extraordinarily cold here in New York, and I know it has been in many other places. And today it's 37 degrees and it feels balmy. So it's a great reminder to me of all things are relative. My dog, who didn't want to go out yesterday, this morning, let himself outside and was laying in the sun. And I was like, what's happening? And he, for him, it was warm today. So, yeah. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelley Amadei. I will be leading us today. I am a longtime practitioner, longtime student of Lama Surya Das's, and have the privilege of holding space and being with you all today. Thank you all for showing up. It's always such a delight when all the faces pop up on the screen. So we'll start with our 3 bells. Bow to you and the Buddha in your seat, in your loving presence. All right, well, half the battle has been accomplished. You're here. That's what I tell myself when I show up to most everything. Okay, I arrived. Now let's see what happens. And as you may have seen in the email, of course, we encourage you to stay on for the entirety of the hour, but we never want that to get in the way of people arriving whenever it is that they can arrive. That might be in the beginning, it might be in the middle, it might be at the end. So please remember that as the weeks roll on, that your presence here, whether it's for a few minutes or it's for the entire hour, is welcome, and it's not disruptive for you to come and go. I just wanted to give that as a reminder. So today, as I was preparing for, if I were you, if I were me, I'm not sure who I am, what would what's top of mind, what's happening right now, what would be most beneficial to contemplate, to reflect on as we move into practice. And as I look at the world around us, there's so much, regardless of how you want to label it, there's an extraordinary amount of change happening between the environmental impact to Los Angeles and the extreme nature of losing your home. There's in the realm of things that can change in life, having your home burned down is probably right up there with dying, with war. It's your basic place of security and belonging. I look at, the families in Asheville that not that long ago experienced the losses of their homes. I look at the political climate, regardless of your political leanings, there's just a lot happening. There's a lot in the world. And I don't know about you, but what I feel is there's so much room right now for empathy and understanding. And there is, in my opinion right now, a little bit of a deficit in that area. There's a deficit in how we're showing up in the world. And when I think about that, what I think about is the fragility of the moment. That more than ever in this lifetime, it's so evident that life is tenuous and fragile, and it's so precious. And here we are in these human bodies We're beings in these bodies, in community, in connection. And so much of this change and so much of this discomfort and so much of this tragedy is creating separateness rather than bringing us together in some ways. And in other ways, there's beautiful, beautiful coming together in community and support happening. But when I think about our practice and I think about the Dharma, I realize how much of the root of the Dharma is becoming aware of who or what keeps us separate. Who or what keeps us separate from ourselves, and where are we acting from? What part of ourselves are we acting from as we express it in the world? You know, whether we like it or not, we're not here to have the same experience. We're not here to hold the same views. We're not here to see things the same way. I mean, imagine how boring life would be if we were all clones of each other. The downside to that is that it can make life difficult. It can make connection difficult. It can make keeping our hearts open difficult. And, you know, we're these human beings that are wired and wiring all the time, right? And our conditioning makes us be in the world differently, see the world differently, respond to the world differently, respond to each other differently. And when I reflect on what is it, you know, it that sees the world differently, it's our minds. It's the thing that can be conditioned. It's not our being. It's not our true self. It's not our unborn, undying, ever-present self. It's our mind.
That's how you doing yoga in bed.
Hold on a second. You gotta mute somebody. And so it's our mind, it's our primal animal brain that scans for safety. It's our primal animal brain that is judging and discerning, not because it wants to be in the world in a way that's judgmental, but because our primal animal brain's job is to keep us safe. And safety is relative. What happens through our conditioning, depending on how we grew up, depending on the environment that we live in, depending on who we're surrounded by, and what we have learned, is our animal primal nature brings us into the world in a way that sometimes we protect ourselves at the cost of all others. We protect ourselves, we protect our children, we protect our loved ones, we protect our animals. And the outcome of that can be that it creates separateness. It creates separateness, and it comes from our conditioned fear of scarcity, of lack of safety, of lack of not enough. And it also can come from another place. Because if you think about that as our mind, right? Our mind is constantly discerning. Our heart is not, right? Our hearts are tender and open and expansive and limitless. And sometimes what the mind does is it tries to protect the heart. Because we could be, I don't want to speak for you, but we could be afraid that if we let our heart lead the way, we would expose ourselves to a lot of pain. We could expose ourselves to a lot of suffering. And we could potentially put ourselves at risk. And so it's this relationship between our mind, our brain, and our heart that this practice allows us to investigate. The heart is open and wide to the world, it knows no bounds, and the mind is like, like a sniper looking to see where's the danger. How do I keep myself safe? And what happens, depending on the relationship you have to who you really are, and the relationship your mind has to your heart, is you're either coming closer to those around you, more open, more loving, more compassionate, more equanimous, or further away. And only you can know the answer to that question. Is what is my relationship to myself, and what is my relationship to those around me that agree with me, that disagree with me? And is that how I want to be in the world? And so when we think about all the things that are out of our control in this moment, if any of us could stop the fires, we would. We can't. The hurricanes, sickness, dying, right? All of these losses are a kind of dying. And our brain is wired for survival. So in all of this craziness happening around us, our brain is trying to protect us from that which is happening, from that pain, from that suffering. So then our heart can start to become a source of fear. And distance is created, and we start grasping and hoarding resources or people or ideas, and it breaks our connection to each other. And what I want to explore today in our practice is, how do we get quiet? How do we become still? How can we work with what's happening right now so that we can know a little better, a little more clearly, who we think we are, how we're relating to ourselves, and how then we are relating to the world. And this isn't meant as an intention to make drastic change. The intention is to just cultivate some awareness around it, to know, where am I acting from? So I want you to just settle into your seat for a moment. Feel this physical body. For better or for worse, here we are in these physical bodies, these human bodies. Our souls have no way to relate to the world if we're not embodied. So let's be in this body for a moment. Feel it in your chair, feel it in space. Just notice. Don't have to do anything with it. We want to really deeply get in touch with it. And sorry. I'm going to be with the sound of my dog protecting me from the wind. All right, and we'll begin again. Llama often yells pet. Instead, I just have a black lab that barks for you, shake you out of your shake your mind out of its fixed moment. So what we're going to do is really get deeply in touch with what is our relationship in order to, because what's the ultimate goal here is to be able to let in more beauty, let in more joy, let in more happiness, express more joy. But in order to do that, we have to be with both. You cannot have happiness and joy without the difficulty that comes with life. This practice that we do is about awakening, and awakening to the truth as it is. And part of the truth as it is there's pain in the world. We're not going to do a master class on the difference between pain and suffering today, but there's pain in the world. And pain on one level keeps us alive, right? When you're in pain, your body's giving you information that needs attention. And without pain, there is no joy. Without all of it, there is no being. And so we're not looking to eliminate an experience here, but to be with it all. Okay, so settle into your seat. just try to relax a little bit. Relax your jaw. Relax your fists. Relax your feet. Relaxed and present at the same time. So just for the moment, your only job is just to sit. Just sit on your seat. And what you'll notice while you're sitting is your breathing. That's one thing we all have in common. Every single one of us is breathing. So gently become aware of your breath. It's a subtle awareness. Breathing in and breathing out. This body allows you to be here in this moment, allows you to be aware of your body, aware of your breath, to be with each other. Notice what your relationship is to your body. How do you feel about this body? Without making anything that arises right or wrong, just noticing. Who do you think you are? What are all the things your mind tells you about who you are? What labels, what identities? Becoming familiar with all the ideas we have about who we are. And if you are all these things, what does your mind tell you that you have to be or do in the world? What does it want or need? Is it true? Is it true? Is it fixed? Is it permanent? I am a sister. What happens if my sister passes away before me? Am I that? Am I only that? I am a lawyer. What happens if you retire? And who are you? What happens if you hold those identities, those labels a little more loosely? What if you're more than that? If there's something else happening here, you're not just this body. You don't just play these roles in the world. You're not just your thinking. Who or what is witnessing your mind, witnessing your thinking? Who or what is witnessing the way in which all these ways we identify ask us to do something, to be something, to achieve something, to earn something? See if you can gently let go for a moment of the doing, of the achieving, of the identifying with the labels. See if you can just be for a moment. Liberate yourself. Just be. Just for this moment. It'll be there when you're done. Don't worry. And as thoughts arise, allow them to arise. You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to do anything with them. You cannot stop them. You can make space, be in the space in which they arise, like clouds floating by. Noticing, but not doing. Take the pressure off. All right, now shake it out. Stretch. Whatever you need right now, take a deep breath, yawn. My jaw is tight for some reason. I'm gonna give it some attention and some love. I notice sometimes that when I start to let go, my body contracts at first, which is okay, right? It's just what's happening. What can I do to release it? Good. You know, this is a practice of beginning again in each moment. And while some of us have been taught that the goal is to sit for long stretches of time without thought, it's a setup, in my opinion. Let's just begin again, begin again. And if at some point you sit for a long stretch of time and fewer thoughts arise, great, but that's just what's happening. It's not even different than what's happening now. What's happening, what's happening, what's happening, right? That's the question to ask. And what's my attachment or aversion to what's happening? How do I relate to it? How do we begin to exist in a world where we're just being with what is? Allowing our hearts to open, which means allowing our hearts to break and break and break and receive and receive and receive over and over. Open, loving, present, being with what is. All right. Let's do a quick prayer before we go into our next practice. We don't just do this for ourselves. We do this so that we can be in the world in a way in which allows us to help others be free as well. We'll do the 4 immeasurable aspirations, break up our practice, and set some intentions. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. And then the 4 dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa. And if these words get in your way, don't worry about Gampopa and Longchenpa, just worry about the intention here. Bless and empower us that our minds and our hearts turn toward the Dharma, the truth as it is. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path, our way of being. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. So notice it doesn't say, bless and empower us that we no longer feel confused, experience confusion, that we no longer experience difficulty. But that we're free from it. We're free from the inner causes of it. It's not that it's not something that arises. It's how we relate to it. So find your seat again, on purpose. See if you can relax a little more. Soften a tiny bit more. Let your breath breathe you. Nothing to do. And let's put our attention on our heart. Even visualize your heart. Can you picture it? Imagine it in this body, essential to your aliveness. And with that attention and awareness, notice what comes up. Notice how you feel about your own heart. See if you can bring a little tenderness, a little bit of love, a little bit of softness to your own heart. This heart that without our mind to protect it would be open to all, first of all ourselves, all of the time. Its natural essence is open, loving, and warm. Who or what is aware of your heart? Notice if your heart feels the same or separate from your mind. Who or what is noticing the relationship between your heart and your mind? With each breath, allowing yourself to open while letting go of any false sense of who you are. Opening to allow the truth of your being to come through. This is the beginning of freedom. That this world, this moment, is perfectly created to support your practice, to support your growth, to support your liberation and your freedom. That each and every moment, this body is designed for our awakening. Nothing to do, no forcing, no pushing, no conjuring, just sitting. Nothing to hold, nothing to heal, just being. Open, luminous, awake, aware, just this. Feel the connection to each and every person here with you, breathing and being, supporting your practice while you support theirs, just by your mere presence. Your willingness, your courage. Expanding your awareness outside of your physical body, beyond the room you're in. Notice if you let go, how far, deep, and wide that awareness can go. Open like the sky. Open like the galaxy. The more spacious your awareness is, the more it can allow. Not contracted, not small like a cup of salt water, wide and expansive like a river, like an ocean. From that space, warmth arises naturally, a tenderness, a compassion arises naturally. You can hold more. be. Take that awareness wide and open and gently turn it in on itself. Towards the seer, towards the looker, towards that which is aware. Breathing into that. Letting your exhale be slightly longer than your inhale. Being with, trusting in. This depth of awareness is always right here. Always. It doesn't need to be realized, or it just needs to be allowed. And even though the bell has rung, see if you can stay with it. Be with it. For those of you who have been here with me before, you know I like to always bring a poem to sort of encapsulate the practice and the teaching. Today's poem is by Rebecca Elson, and I will put it in the chat. Sometimes as an antidote to fear of death, I eat the stars. Those nights lying on my back, I suck them from the quenching dark till they are all inside me, pepper hot and sharp. Sometimes instead I stir myself into a universe still young, still warm as blood. No outer space, just space. The light of all the not yet stars, drifting like a bright mist, and all of us and everything already there, but unconstrained by form. And sometimes it's enough to lie down here on earth, beside our long ancestral bones, to walk across the cobble fields of our discarded skulls, each like a treasure, like a chrysalis, thinking, whatever left these husks flew off on bright wings. So we will close with a closing prayer, and then we will open it up to any sharing. We'll do the path clearing and wish fulfilling prayer of Padmasambhava one time. Dusum Sanjay Guru Rinpoche Nudru Kundak Dewa Chen Poja Barche Kunsel Dudu Drak Posel Sawadepso Jingi Lab Tuso Chirang Sangwei Barche Jiwadahang Sampalunji Drupajingilo. Precious guide, one with all the Buddhas of the three times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. And we will finish with Mama Surya's New Millennium Prayer. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world, an end to war, violence, poverty, and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, droughts, earthquakes, fires, all kinds of natural disasters. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. May we better prepare ourselves for the natural calamities that beset us all. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. One beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. Thank you all for your practice and your presence and for being here. Any questions, any sharing, please? There are no unhelpful questions or comments. Putting the poem here. Well, as always, I'm so grateful for this practice, so grateful for these teachings, so indelibly grateful to Lama Surya for bringing these teachings to us, this practice to us, and to all of you. I wouldn't be here without him. I wouldn't be here without the Dzogchen Foundation, and while he's on his semi-rewirement, I still encourage you, if you can, even a few dollars, please donate to the foundation to support his continued practice and love in the world as he finishes his memoir. And, you know, with now that he's free, who knows what we're going to get next. So much love to you all. And we hope to see you all next week. Be well.